Listen closely, because what you're about to hear might shake the way you see your past, your relationships, maybe even her. You thought it was love. That intensity, that pull, that feeling like you couldn't breathe without her. Like your entire world revolved around whether she texted you back or not. You called it passion. But what if I told you it wasn't love at all? What if it was something darker, something quieter, something that feels like love but slowly eats you alive? This is the story most men never realize they're living. This is the difference between love and a trauma bond. It usually starts like magic. You meet her and suddenly everything feels electric. Conversations flow effortlessly. She understands you in a way no one ever has. It feels like she sees straight through your armor, into your wounds, into the parts of you you don't even show yourself. And you think, this is it. This is real. But there's something else happening beneath the surface, something subtle. The highs are too highs and the lows, they hit like a storm you never saw coming. One moment she's warm, affectionate, pulling you close, the next distant, cold, unreachable, and instead of walking away, you lean in, you try harder, you chase. Because when she pulls away, it doesn't just feel like rejection, it feels like loss, like something inside you is being ripped out. And that feeling? That's your first clue. Love doesn't feel like withdrawal, but trauma bonds do. You see, a trauma bond isn't built on stability. It's built on unpredictability, on emotional highs and lows that train your brain like an addiction. Think about it. When she's loving, it feels incredible, almost too good. So when she pulls away, your mind starts racing. What did I do wrong? How do I fix this? How do I get her back to how she was? You're no longer loving her. You're trying to earn her, and that's where things start to break. Real love doesn't make you feel like you have to earn basic affection. Real love doesn't keep you guessing. Real love doesn't punish you with silence. But a trauma bond? It thrives on confusion. It keeps you hooked by giving you just enough to stay, but never enough to feel secure. And here's the dangerous part. The more she pulls away, the more attached you become. Because now it's not just about her. It's about proving something. To her, to yourself, maybe even to your past. Maybe there was a time in your life when love felt inconsistent. Maybe attention had to be earned. Maybe you learned early on that love came with conditions. So now, when she treats you the same way, your mind doesn't see danger, it sees familiarity. And familiarity feels like home, even when it hurts. That's the trap. You're not falling in love with her. You're reliving something unresolved. And this is why so many men stay in situations that drain them. They mistake intensity for connection. They mistake obsession for love. They mistake emotional chaos for passion. But let me tell you something most people won't say out loud. If it destroys your peace, it's not love. Think about how you feel when you're with her. Not the good moments, not the highs, but the overall state of your mind. Are you calm, or are you constantly anxious? Are you secure, or are you always wondering where you stand? Are you growing, or are you shrinking yourself just to keep her? These answers matter. Because love should feel like a place you can rest, not a battlefield you have to survive, but trauma bonds, they feel like war. And somehow you convince yourself that fighting for it makes it real, that the struggle means it's worth it, that the pain is proof of depth. But it's not. Pain is not proof of love. Consistency is. Respect is. Peace is. Let's go deeper. Why is it so hard to walk away? Why do you stay even when you know something isn't right? Because trauma bonds don't just affect your emotions, they rewire your brain. Every time she pulls away and then comes back, your brain releases dopamine, relief, reward. And over time, you become addicted, not to her, but to the cycle, the chase, the validation, the moment she chooses you again. And this is where it gets dangerous. Because now, you're not choosing her consciously. Your nervous system is choosing her. Your past is choosing her. Your wounds are choosing her. That's not love, that's conditioning. Love is steady. It doesn't leave you questioning your worth. It doesn't make you feel like you're one mistake away from losing everything. It doesn't disappear when things get uncomfortable. Love stays. Love communicates. Love builds. But trauma bonds, they break you slowly. They make you doubt yourself. They make you feel like you're the problem. Like if you just tried harder, loved better, fixed yourself, everything would be okay. But here's the truth you need to hear. You can't fix a dynamic that's built on instability. No amount of effort will turn chaos into peace, and deep down, you already know that. You've felt it. That quiet voice in your mind that says, something isn't right, but you ignore it. Because letting go feels harder than holding on. Because the idea of losing her feels unbearable. But what you're really afraid of is losing the feeling, that intensity, that connection. That hope that maybe, one day, it'll finally become what you thought it was, but how long are you willing to wait? How much of yourself are you willing to lose? At some point, you have to ask yourself, is this love or is this a loop I can't escape? Because love doesn't trap you. Love frees you. And here's the hardest part. Walking away from a trauma bond feels like withdrawal. It feels like you're losing something essential, like you're breaking apart. But that pain? It's not the loss of love. It's the loss of the addiction. And on the other side of that pain is clarity, is peace. Is a version of you that no longer needs to chase, prove, or beg for consistency. Imagine what that feels like. To be with someone who doesn't make you question everything, who doesn't disappear when things get real, who doesn't make you feel like love is something you have to earn. That kind of love exists. But you won't find it if you're stuck trying to fix something that was never built to last. So if you're listening to this and something inside you feels uncomfortable, that's not a bad thing. That's awareness. That's the beginning of seeing things for what they really are. You don't need more intensity. You need more truth. You don't need someone who makes your heart race. You need someone who makes your mind quiet. Because real love doesn't feel like chaos. It feels like coming home. And if it doesn't feel like that, then maybe it was never love to begin with.